Hello everyone, it's Gus, aka Gustover J, here on YouTube and over on Twitch. As you can surely see, I am finally back at my usual desk, and with that, I have access to all of my art supplies, and in the nick of time, too. Those that follow me on Instagram would know that it's nearly August, which means August Art Weekly, a weekly art challenge for the month of August. This year's prompt list is Roaring Twenties themed, centered around Art Deco and artists of that era, which is the main inspiration for this month's theme in my bullet journal. I just got really inspired when I was doing all the research for my August Art Weekly pieces that I was like, you know what? All of my spreads are just going to be Art Deco themed. So, taking inspiration from these Art Deco patterns, I decided to use black paper as my base and then use my metallic folk art paints. I actually ended up using specifically pure gold, the color pure gold. I do have an antique gold, but it just wasn't quite as popping in color since it is supposed to be a dulled down version of the regular gold. Now, going through all of this, some of my lines aren't quite as clean, but that's just because I'm using a kind of flared out brush, which I actually do enjoy the look of it. I've really missed traditional painting recently. There are some brushes on Photoshop or Clip Studio that emulate this kind of look, but it's just really nice to just play with brushes in real life, you know? I am still working on thumbnails for what art pieces I want to do for each week in August, since the way August Art Weekly works is each week you do one piece. So there are 4 full weeks in August, so there's only 4 pieces that you have to do in a whole month, which is pretty reasonable, especially in comparison to other art challenges where you're supposed to do an entire finished drawing or painting in one day. That's really overwhelming, at least to me. So that's one of the main reasons why I actually came up with August Art Weekly. And of course, August Art Weekly doesn't actually apply to just drawing or painting. If you're really into photography and you think you can match the themes and the prompts and everything, then you can do photography or sculpture or whatever your craft may be. Now, with my return home, also means that I will soon be returning to my workplace, as well as my university classes do start in August, so bear with me while I readjust to everything. I definitely want to start streaming again, and I'm leaning towards maybe a Friday or a weekend kind of schedule, if I can't do earlier in the week, that is. The best way to know when I'm streaming is to follow me over on Twitch. So with this layout, I wanted for the center black pillars to be symmetrical, so I ended up putting my Wednesday on a black pillar instead of how it is with all the others. I then realized that I really like the just all black look, so I went ahead and drew in some black borders just all around. Since I did this before in my January setup, back before I was filming these, and I really love how it turned out. It's actually, my January setup is the one that you see in my outro. So for this spread, I realized after making my Dutch doors that I had quite a bit of extra space, and instead of just having an extra wide to-do list on the side on my sidebar, I decided that I wanted to add in some extra designs here. So I ended up putting in these decorated sections using both the black and the gold. I based the design off of, I think it was some sort of stained glass that I had seen when looking into Art Deco, and I ended up mirroring that onto the other side as well. And I just really love how the gold paint on the black has turned out. At first I wasn't sure how opaque it was going to be, since like it paints on very thin in person, but once it dries down it's really opaque and just really beautiful. And since I am using a thin acrylic paint, it dried down very quickly. I did get these paints at Walmart, by the way, if you're interested in looking into them. They are, again, folk art, and though I'm sure there may be some sort of apple barrel equivalent if you don't have folk art at your local Walmart. I then continued the extra black bars around the borders of this spread as well. I had considered putting extra golden designs on the Dutch doors in the black bars, but decided that there was already enough going on this page and left it sort of simple. But also I was afraid it would overwhelm with all the gold I already had, especially with the extra washi tape that I had added. Now with this spread, I made sure to get the rest of the month all in one page, and I had drawn this sort of decal that was reminiscent of Art Deco, but I couldn't actually find where I'd seen it. I think I actually saw something similar on a mosaic in the cartoon Steven Universe. It was like where one of the diamonds were just, I can't remember if it was pink diamond bursting out of the ground or if it was white diamond. And this was a decal that was behind her. White Diamond's visuals are actually very reminiscent of old 1920s actresses, such as their makeup and their outfits. So it's of no surprise that there may be further 1920s aesthetics to match her character. I had considered carrying out the original lines and line art that I had done in the sketch underneath this gold layer. I realized that if I left it without the lines, I can maybe turn this into an area for to-do lists and events later on with a black pen over the top. And with that, that is the completion of this month's weekly spreads. I really do love how the gold turned out. I hadn't really practiced with the brush I was using, but again, it just looks really nice to me, except for that Wednesday. That Wednesday is a little wonky. I love how reactive the gold paint is with both this paper in my bullet journal and also the black construction paper I used. I'm looking forward to using this final spread in particular. Once again, if you would like to join in on August Art Weekly, we would all love to see you participate. And if you do, feel free to tag me over at Gustafer Draws on Instagram and over on Twitter, and be sure to use the August Art Weekly 2020 tag. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And with that, thank you for making it this far in the video. Make sure you're staying safe and healthy out there, everybody. And I hope to see you in the next one.